Hello, and welcome to another video. In this one, I am using all those inks from my first video, which I will link below, and I am painting them on paper that my mother has made. She's also into paper crafting, so it's tried her hand at making paper, and she has a lot of paper now. This is one of her early ones that she was very unhappy with because of just how thick and rough it was. And this is my brother jumping in to show off his very well-used Bic Evolution pencil. So to get him back, I decided to take it and write with it. He wasn't expecting that. He just likes to be involved. You know how they are. But this paper is a very, very rough texture, very warped, very thick, except for where it's incredibly thin and has a hole. And my brother's just popping back to show his eraser, which works really well, leaves no streaks. It's an American football style eraser that is really worn down. But yes, so that is my brother just being annoying, as siblings often are. But yeah, so this is handmade paper. One my mom's not happy with. I will try and show you her better paper. But it is a lot thinner. And yes, there you can see that there is actually a hair in the paper from the making process. But I thought this is just an experimental piece. So I'm going to see what a toothbrush does with the ink. This is from one of them kids' archaeology dig sets. That's what you use to dust away the dirt. A sponge. It was originally white. I have used it for other projects that made it green. And this is a size 4 round brush from Rory Mac Achiever, made in India, as you can see. I think I've used it a little bit before, but I'm sort of going through my brushes and seeing what is still good. And this is a size 6, a flat studio brush from Sullivan's. I'm just sort of playing around here. I have the Stampin Up ink, and then a lot of paper mill metallic ink in a range of colours. So we have silvery, ice flow, penny loafer. I'm sure we also have, that one is a shimmer one. I do have one shimmer one and it's light gold, but the other's a metallic, outer space, and space sand. They're absolutely gorgeous colours. They need a lot of shaking up though to work. But this is the only one that's not shimmery or glittery, and it's just like my favourite colour. And this was just an experiment. So I didn't really know what to expect, but my goodness, does it dry quick on this paper. It just like soaks right on in. So it definitely is not paper designed for ink or any like real wet medium, because it just gets absorbed into the fiber, which is all just recycled paper pulp, handmade. So it's not, really designed to be good for wet medium, but we're just doing our best. Mum was just testing it around, and I just wanted to see what kind of things her paper could handle. And the sponge did break a little bit there. You can see like a fleck of it off to the side. It pulled off, but like I said, this is an experiment. This isn't a piece that's going to go anywhere. This is just like testing, just playing around, trying out some abstract-y sort of art. And yeah, a toothbrush, because it wouldn't blend on the paper very well, just pouring it on the brush makes it just look like a very thick brush. Not exactly the look I was going for, but I'll try on some smoother paper and see what kind of techniques I can get from the brush that way. Oh yes, my brother brought me a ceramic bowl. He was in the kitchen making food, so I was just like, please, can you bring one over so I can like try something else? But as you can see, it is so shimmery. That is the space sand, and it is absolutely gorgeous. I really like looking at it in its liquid form. If I could just like set them up in sort of like, I don't know, lava lamp jars where they move around and don't mix together, it'd be very, very pretty. Now this brush was just really difficult to use. I probably should use it better as like a flicking brush, but I didn't think of that till later, and I was already sort of like settled in. But yeah, it's plastic, so it doesn't absorb much of the paint at all. It's very much what is quickly on the brush, and that is that. So not necessarily the best brush for this project, but I will play with it again in future projects just to sort of see what happens. Definitely on smoother paper with ink. I'm looking at buying some more smooth paper so I can do those sort of like really swirly ink pages to try and play with that and see what happens. See if I like that. But overall, it's pretty fun. This here is the flat brush I'm using, and this was, I think, my favorite brush to use for this particular project. It spread things nicely. It took a lot of the ink, but so did the round brush. The round brush was good as well. I just think I prefer flat brushes in general. I haven't, played a lot with them, but in the little bits and pieces I have done, I just keep leaning towards a flat brush or a filbert brush. They just seem to be where I go. Now I noticed those two colours, the outer space and the silvery, were very similar, but I think just like different values. So they might be like the same shade, but different values. So like the outer space is darker and the silvery is lighter. But they have like either that or the mica to make it shimmery is the exact same in both of them, where the other ones have like different colors, but because those ones just look really similar, just different values. So that is something to keep in mind if you're interested in that. But I don't think having both would be a bad thing. Obviously, I think the different values are good. Cleaning the toothbrush is not the easiest because there's so many bristles. And obviously I'm running out of paint, just trying to like scoop it up onto the paintbrush. Like I said, this is all an experiment, and sometimes I think that is the most crucial part with creating art. You need to play with what you've got and just see what sort of happens before you can make any big decisions on how you want your art to look, which is exactly where I am. Like, I don't know what sort of style I'm leaning towards, if any in particular, so I'm just going to keep trying different things, playing with different things. And my God, I love how shimmery the ink looks when it's in the cup in the light. It's crazy. Now, I do think the ice flow uses a different mica to the silvery. Other than that, they are very like similar in color, but I do think the shimmer is a different color. I think the ice flow is more of like a white mica, where the silvery is a silver mica. That sounded very smart. But they have like a very similar ink color. But that is one where I think you could choose either the ice flow or the silvery. And if it were up to me, I would go like the ice flow and the outer space. I think if you mixed those two together, which I don't in this one, but if you did, I think you could get something very close to the silvery. So unless you really just want the silvery and you don't want the other two, but I think, yes, you could skip silvery and still be able to come up with something very lovely and very similar to it with the ice flow and the outer space. Now here I was just mixing the Stampin' Up with the penny loafer, which I forgot I put some penny loafer on the thing, but I had some like camera problems being forgetting to press play after getting water to clean my brushes. So really it's just person problems. But I thought they were sort of like a similar color to the Stampin' Up grenadine. And I wanted to just like mix them together, see what happened. And it definitely comes like significantly darker. I wasn't quite expecting that because the penny loafer isn't that dark, and they're dark, but they're not super dark in the way that they mix together to become very dark. I wasn't quite expecting that. I was thinking that it would actually be a little bit lighter, but maybe I should have added ice flow to make it lighter if that was what I wanted. But like I said, this is an experiment to see what sort of happens when you mess around with things, and really I just wanted a shimmery, pretty paper. I'm potentially going to use this as a background and have a silhouette on it, but I haven't decided yet. And additionally, the paper, as you saw in the first, it does have a tear, so I don't know how much effort I want to put into this piece, because obviously it's just going to be a me piece. It's going to live in my folder. Something I did find incredibly interesting, as you can see here, is I added some space sand to it, the mixture, and it separated so significantly, which is kind of fascinating. I didn't expect that. I added a bit of the sand to lighten the colour, but keep it warm. If I'm doing something like this again, I might, like I said, add the ice flow and it'll make it cooler. But really, I was just, playing around. Like I said, I think that's very, very important. You've just got to play with your supplies sometimes. I definitely want to do more with this ink. It's super, super pretty, but I don't know what I want to do with it. I just want to play with it. So we're just going to have to carry on with our crazy artistic journey. I'm just putting some of the light gold shimmer directly on it. Now, at least on this piece, I couldn't notice a significant difference between the metallic mica and the shimmer mica. It looks like it could have been from the same group, but they are labeled differently, so I might have to look in, see if there is any significant difference, or if they just thought that there are certain colours that lend themselves to a metallic look and there are certain that lend themselves to a shimmer look, and that's where they decided to name the brand. Name the, I don't know, what do you call them, like family groups? I don't know, that's where my brain's gone. But yeah, there's no significant difference. So you find, because the gold shimmer, light gold shimmer, is a significantly different color from the shimmers that I have, so it is good to have, but it blends right on in, probably because it is like a gold, which is a metallic, well, it is a metal and it is a metallic color. It blends right on in, and there was no significant like shimmer compared to the metallic shimmer. So that is also something to keep in mind if you're interested in the paper mill inks. No real difference in these colors. I do have some other shimmer ones, but these were the colors that I wanted to play with. But yeah, that's pretty much it for this video. I'm just showing it not in the direct light, and it's a little bit less shiny, but you can still see it. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you learned something. I hope you like the art piece, and I hope you experiment with your art supplies yourself. Thank you, and if I'm lucky, I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.